Hi everyone, welcome back. Doing another live, just because I have an empty house again. So I thought make the most of it. I'm currently working through this little project that I am filming a video for. Some of you may have seen this on some of the updates I've done on Instagram recently. I'm essentially painting 50 Deathcore of Krieg all at once, and it's good so far. Sort of. It's actually been pretty. Yeah, it's been fine. I'm kind of. I am actually quite enjoying it. I've had a bit of a break from it. Come back to them after about a month, I think, because I was working on the Space Wolves, and now back to doing this. But this is a personal project rather than a commission. So yeah, there's not anything massively exciting going on, but I just thought I'd come on here and to see if anybody was about and wanted to have a chat or keep me company, or whatever. Because I've got quite a lot of work to get through. But at the moment, I'm just going through each step, sort of on each one at a time. And this, where I am at the moment, is essentially sponging on some sort of mud and grime and stuff onto them. It's just that step that I've got to. So I've just sort of done all the oil washes and all of that sort of stuff is out of the way. So the mostly done. But yeah, they're coming along quite nicely. Um, and yeah, I just thought I'd just jump on here because if I'm sat here doing some painting, then it makes sense to kind of to see if anyone was around. So yeah, I'll give you an idea of kind of. So this is sort of where this one isn't quite finished. So it's one finished one, so you can get a better idea of how they're going to look when they're done. So yeah, that's sort of a completed one. I'm nearly there at this point with all of them. That was one from the testers that I did a while back. So yeah, it's really just a case of just going through each one step at a time, and it's there's a lot here, but I'm enjoying it. It's not been it's I spent a long time sort of getting the scheme down to make sure that it wasn't going to be a real slog to get through. I wanted to make sure that it was going to be fun and quick, and well, not quick, but doable. Not something where it was going to take months or years to kind of get through. So it's all sort of carefully worked out to make sure that I wasn't going to have all of these sort of hanging around for years on end. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's good, and I'm really happy with the way they look. And obviously, this isn't finished yet, but the sort of the finished result is I'm pretty happy with it. It's kind of what I had in my head, or very similar to what I wanted. Initially, I was kind of going to go with sort of greys and things for the coats and stuff, and I sort of fell upon this with the sort of the dark greens and things instead. So how long does it take to paint all of those? What's at this point? So there's currently 50 of them that are at this stage. This is not finished, but this has taken me about 2 weeks. I've just come back to this after about a month of not touching them. So this has taken about 2 weeks of maybe doing a few hours each evening. Just maybe, so it's not too bad. And I'm sort of I imagine I can probably have most of the whole lot complete within I don't know, potentially a few more days. Uh, it's it looks more sort of complicated than it is. The sort of the airbrush does a lot of the work, and then it's all sort of oil washes and stuff, and um, so it's not too bad. Again, I kind of spent quite a lot of time working this out to make sure that I could get this done without it being a real slog. Do you 3D? No, I bought these. Yeah, I don't 3D print these ones. I don't have a 3D printer, so no. These are Games Workshop purchased from Element Games, and yeah, this is a personal project that I've been wanting to do for a while. Um, but it's not just this. I've got in total there are 60 of the guardsmen, 10 of which are completed. They were the test ones for the whole army to kind of get the scheme down. And then I've got some of the big artillery cannons and some characters and stuff. And there's a few other like the horses and things like that as well. So there's a decent chunk of it. And this obviously all this infantry is kind of the main bulk of the stuff, which is why I'm sort of purposely trying to do them all in one big hit and get it done in one go, because it'll be a nice achievement and it'll help my sort of motivation to get the rest of the army done. And I'm not rushing it. I'm not sort of just plowing through it, and I want them to be happy with how they look when they're done. So it's quite important that they're not rushed. But as I said, it's kind of spent a while making sure that I got the scheme down. So that was kind of one of the test models, different head swap. But I decided against the head swaps in the end because it took far too long to do. Although I do really like the way it looks. I could be quite happy with an army with the head swaps like that. But it's too complicated to do if you want to do like a whole army of them. They look really good. I've never done any myself, but good work. Oh, thank you very much, man. Yeah. Well, I can. Yeah, yeah. I'd recommend them. It's good fun. But the problem with doing guard like this is that you have to have a lot of them. You're going to start a guard army, then you're going to have like a minimum of like 100 of these. So it's a bit of a commitment. But I've been really enjoying it. It's not at no point is this. I've kind of questioned it, like whether or not I should be doing all this in one go. I was sort of thinking about that last night, but I was posting up on Instagram, so I wasn't sure how I was feeling about it. But I'm kind of glad I'm doing it this way because they'll be done. And the thing is, this stage that they're at the moment, I could do the bases and they'd be kind of good to go. You could use them in a game or whatever, and they'd be, in a decent state and I can go back to them and finish them off. Yeah, I haven't got a load of grey plastic anymore, so I'm quite happy with it. It looks quite relaxing. It is, yeah, it is relaxing. This is a nice step as well. This is just because this is literally just sponging on some paint and getting those. It's difficult to see because it's quite because of the different this needs another some more matte varnish and stuff because it's this particular paint is quite shiny when it goes on, and it will stay like that for even once it's dry. But once it's all matted down, you'll kind of be able to see it a little bit more. But this is a nice step just because it's just easy just to kind of sit and sponge on some paint. You don't have to think too much about it. Yeah, it's good. I'm enjoying it. I hope everyone is doing well this evening. Hope you're all having a nice time. That's rewarding seeing it all done at the end. Yeah, it is. It is. There's something about having a finished, like, large collection done when it's all finished. It is very nice. Which is partly the reason why I'm kind of doing this the way I'm doing it, and I'm trying to just get through them. Again, not rushing to getting through them, but just not just getting a handful of them done and then getting bored and moving on and whatever. I'm just I do want to have them done. I'm because I had a guard army up until early this year, which I sold, and I used that money to buy all this stuff. Start again because I wasn't. Can I see one of the ones on the shelf? Yeah, bear with me. There's a couple here. These were the tests. These were the tests. So this is sort of what they'll This is how they'll look when they're done. Again, I don't know how well that comes up on the camera, but yeah. So unlike this guy with the glow on the plasma and stuff, so nice contrast to the dark colors, sort of bright pink. Yeah, so that's kind of what we're going with when they're done. Um, yeah, pretty happy with them. And I think having a hundred or so of them all looking like that will look pretty cool. So yeah. So yeah, again, sorry, it's not. I'm not doing anything too exciting. It comes through very clear and they're great. Oh, thank you very much, man. I appreciate that. That's very nice of you. But if anyone is interested in this and how this is done, I am have been and still am filming this for sort of a video, like a tutorial video as well. So that will be up on the channel as soon as that's done. So depending on what's how it was meant to be up a long time ago, but I've just been too busy with other things, so I had to kind of put things on the back burner a bit. But this will, if you want to see the whole thing, whole process, and how it's done, then that will be up soon. So um, yeah, be able to see if I managed to paint all 50 of them. Instead of Rock Me by Primary School, had Warhammer 40k Club. Oh, that's pretty cool. I would have liked that when I was a kid. I think it was a bit too niche at the time, but that's good. Yeah, that's a pretty nice thing to be able to do at school. I'll go with football with my dad and subscribe. We'll definitely drop in again. Yeah, no worries, man. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm doing my best to get to uh, 10,000 subscribers at the moment. We're pretty close. So if anyone is watching and you are enjoying it, then yeah, please hit the subscribe button. It does a massive amount to help the channel. I am trying to grow it a bit more, and I've been a bit. Again, I said I've been a bit sort of busy recently, and I've been working on a commission, and I've got a few other things going on in the background which are quite sort of important, and I've had to kind of just put the channel on the back burner, which I don't like doing because it, it's quite important for me, and I do enjoy it, and um, so I've been sort of compensating a little bit by doing a few more live streams recently, just kind of so I'm actually doing something sort of showing my face a bit more. So yeah, but yeah, if you are enjoying it, then yeah, do hit the subscribe button. It does really help. It's until you actually start putting it putting stuff up on a channel and stuff, you don't realize how much like hitting like buttons and hitting subscribe buttons and things like that actually does make a big difference. I know that people say it in videos and stuff. I never really thought too much about it until you start doing it yourself. It really helps. Um, so yeah, if you are enjoying the channel, if you are enjoying what I'm doing, then yeah, that would be very helpful. So yeah, I'm not going too mad with this sort of. Do they still sell metal figures? No, 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 not anymore. They were all metal when I was a kid, but no, not anymore. Well, I mean, I mean, other companies you can still get them. They exist. I mean, it's not all company, but Games Workshop don't sell metal ones. No, it's all plastic these days, or some resin kits as well. But generally, 90% of it is plastic. Which is a hell of a lot easier to work with than metal. Metal's nice, but um, you don't get the same you don't get the same detail, and you don't get the same. It's just much easier to work with. Um, where are we? Yeah, so as I said, it's just a nice. This is a nice step. Um, there's not too much more to do really. I need to do a similar sort of step, but it'd be more with a brush on the armor to chip and weather that a little bit and sort of lighten that color up a little. Um, and what else we got? Highlighting all the cloth and the leather and the black, like on the guns and stuff. But it's all very sort of sparing and quick. Quick in terms of compared to some of the stuff that I've done before anyway. So I'm trying to move away from the idea of saying things are fast or quick or whatever, because it's I don't know. It gives a part of the reason why I'm doing this as well. Filming this is just to kind of make a you get most well. I'm guilty of it as well, but a lot of channels where they'll make something look really easy, but they only painted one or two, and you need a hell of a lot more than that. I wonder if I was still a Space Wolf. I wonder if my Space Wolf and Tau army from 22 hours was worth something. Yeah, potentially. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. If you've still got it all, there are yeah, there are people that collect all of that old stuff. You know, the old metal things, and uh, that just sort of solely stick to all of that sort of stuff, all the old retro things. There's definitely a market for it if you know if you haven't got any sentimental attachment to it and you want to sell it. Um, yeah, but I'm quite excited to. I think I've kind of really sort of coming to the end of this now. This sort of this lot, and it's going to be really nice to kind of see it all done and then move on to the next bit. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do next. I can either do the big artillery guns or the horses, but I'm not sure which one I'm going to go for. I've been looking forward to doing the cavalry stuff, all the horses and whatever. I think that might be quite fun. So maybe them next. And then at some point later this year, or maybe next year, when I can afford it, I'll be getting all the tanks and stuff for the army as the next sort of phase. You know, that'll be the next thing because I haven't got any. I haven't got any vehicles or anything like that yet. So that's all. It's all just all the infantry. But yeah, kind of breaking it up a little bit and doing it sort of a bit at a time. Yeah, it's all good. Enjoying it. Anyway, yeah. Well, thanks for joining me. Anyway, as I said, I'm just having a bit of a quiet one at home. Kids are in bed. My wife has gone out again, which sounds bad, but no, she's been out and about a lot recently because she works in a school. So obviously, there's a lot of kind of well, she works in a nursery, and this time of year it's a little bit like their Christmas bit. You know, they all the teachers and stuff and all the people that work at the nursery, they're kind of all broken up and they go off and it's their summer holidays as well as the kids. So there's been a few like, you know, they've gone out for some drinks and things and yeah, so she's been out and about. But it gives me a good excuse to sit and actually get some work done. From Switzerland, just passing by. My wife has also kids too, and here we go. Yeah. It's nice to have a bit of time to yourself sometimes. I have, well, I mean, if you're new to my channel, I talk about, they come up a lot because it's quite important, like my family and all of that sort of stuff. But yeah, because a lot of some of the things that I've done on the channel have been kind of some of it focused around that whole thing of like, I'm busy, I've got stuff on, I've got life, I've got kids, I've got all that sort of stuff. So my hobby and things take a bit of a, they take a back seat. This is, not one of these uh, channels where I'm able to devote all my time to it all the time. Um, I was going somewhere with that, and now I've forgot my train of thought entirely. But yeah, sometimes it's nice just to kind of everyone's gone to bed. I've got the house to myself essentially. I can just sit and do this, and it's really relaxing and it's nice because I have 3 kids, and things can be a bit manic here. 3 very young kids, so having a bit of quiet time is always a good thing. And also, I'm sort of feeling quite good about the fact that I just finished a big commission as well, which got sent back, which arrived. I haven't not had any feedback just yet, but we'll see. I'm sure it's all good. But that went back to arrive today, back where it needs to be. So hopefully get paid for that soon. Um, and it's nice to kind of have that out of the way so I can move on. So we're going to get these done and then start the next commission that I've got um, to work on. That's cool. I stopped because you paint Warhammer. Oh, okay. Well, thanks very much, man. That's nice of you to be here. I appreciate it. And yeah, so I've actually got, there's a couple of commissions I've got sat under the desk waiting to be started and painted for other people. And that'll be the next thing. And I've got a few videos, as I said, that I'm kind of working on at the moment as well. So it's all go very, very busy. How do we do this? Sorry, I'm just going to check something because they've added a load of bits and pieces onto this from what I can see from my point of view, and it's sort of um, I'm still getting used to doing the lives. I don't do them that often, and it sort of feels it sort of looks slightly different from where I am. Sort of are we about halfway through at this point, I think. Um, on this step anyway. But as I said, I think I could easily get away once this is done. You could easily get away with just doing the bases and being done with it and just calling them finished. I think that I'm quite happy with how they look as they are, but it's going to be those next few steps that kind of really finish them off and sort of elevate the scheme a little bit and just make the whole thing look a little bit better. Yeah, I've been wanting to get on with this and do these guys for a while, get them finished. been a bit of a sort of passion project of mine that I've wanted to do for a long time, like to start a guard army again from scratch. And as I said, I did not start, but I had a guard army, as I said, um, up until earlier this year. And I spent a long time on it, but it's one of the things I sort of started painting when I first got back into the hobby about 5 years ago, when I kind of sort of came back to it, and I wasn't sort of unhappy with it, but I was still sort of getting back into it and learning a few bits and pieces, learn some new things. And when I kind of looked at it, it was a bit sort of felt a bit disjointed and wasn't quite right. It didn't feel consistent enough. So I sold it, and yeah, went to these guys to kind of start again, start from scratch, and kind of do something where I knew I could be a bit more consistent with it and get a sort of a better finish on everything. And yeah, so it's been something that I've wanted to do for a long time. And then when they sort of announced all the new deathcore stuff, that was kind of that was the decision to do. And so it's not going to be like a mixed army of all different Cadians and all of that sort of stuff. I'm only going to stick to the Krieg things, keep it all uniform and have it all sort of make sense, as one army. That's the plan anyway. But I would like to. I'm going to kind of also have a bit of a sort of inquisitor um, element to it as well. So I'm going to be sticking some. I've got an inquisitor who's going to be painted up to go alongside them, so it'll be slightly different colors, obviously. But and I want to get like a little, some retinue and stuff for him, and have him all in, all done with the same base and everything, so it all fits in as sort of part of the army. So I can kind of mix things up a little bit. And I'm also potentially again I'd like to get a knight for them as well, one of the big knights. Because because they look cool, they look good, and it'd be fun, and have it all sort of painted up in similar colours, and it's all part of. So yeah, it's going to be like a deathcore army, but with a few sort of hangers on. Is the plan. I'm fairly new to Warhammer 40k universe. I'm still reading the Horus Heresy books. My older brother played the tabletop back in the 80s. I was never allowed to touch them, so I thought they're stupid. But okay, well, yeah, I can recommend it. I would recommend it as a hobby. I'd recommend, reading those books and stuff. They are genuinely good. It's fun. It is a good hobby. It's nice people for the most part as well in it, and yeah, there's like a whole sort of community of people. I've met some really lovely people through this hobby over the last few years, um, and it's fun, you know, as hobbies go. I would recommend it. It was a little much there. I mean, I don't really even play the game, to be honest. Very occasionally. It's been, I can't remember the last time I had a game. Got to be a year ago, at least, maybe more. I just do this stuff just for the enjoyment of painting, really. To be honest, the game is fun, but this is I end up buying and painting stuff just for the sake of painting it and having it. But anyway, yeah, I hope you're all doing all right. I was having a nice evening, or assuming it's evening, you're um, wherever you are in the world. It's evening here. Although the majority of the people who watch the channel or subscribe to the channel are from the UK anyway. So, but I think on lives, I don't know. You get it's a nice way of finding new people who weren't necessarily. So I don't know. Maybe there's some people from other places. As you can see, I'm not spending huge amounts of time on each one on this step. It's really just it's a nice quick bit. It doesn't take long. You have to be quite sparing with it. I don't want to kind of I I don't want them all just caked in this. They have to be you've got to be careful not to go overboard, because it can kind of spoil it a little bit. But just enough. Yeah, nearly done. Nearly done on this, and then I can move on to the next step. The next one, the next few steps do take a bit are going to take a bit longer. Um, but not it won't and it's not too bad. I think if I just stayed up tonight and just didn't bother going to bed, which would be a really stupid thing to do because I've got to go to work tomorrow and I've got 3 kids, so that would be a really bad idea. But if I did, I feel pretty confident I could get maybe not the basing done, but I think I could get the lot finished overnight if I did. So it's not too bad. It really wouldn't take that long. It's just finding the time to kind of sit down and actually do it and be able to devote to it. So they will be finished. They will be finished, and it won't take long. And then I'll yeah, I'm gonna move on. We've got something very big that needs painting. I can show you actually. Actually, what? Why not? So this is not mine. It's a commission. It's going to be. I'm painting it for somebody else as a commission. And I can show you a little bit of it anyway. At least, hang on. So this is the legs. So it's big, and this is still has there'll be armor plates and stuff on here. So this is the leg. This is a Warhound Titan. As one of the guns. So this is the next. This will be the next project. This is the next thing we'll be painting after this. And there's the body. I'm gonna have to move the camera. The head's not attached, obviously, and the arms and all the armor. It's all kind of in separate pieces, so I can to make it easy to paint. But you can see, get an idea of the size anyway. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I've always wanted to own one of these, but I can't justify the price of it. So this is the next best thing, is to be able to actually paint one. So yeah, that's the next thing. As soon as these guys are out of the way and the video's up, this will be the next thing I'm starting. So yeah, that's a little sneak preview there, which unless you're watching the live you won't know about, so that's quite nice. Sort of try to keep that to myself, really, but I'm quite excited about it because I've always wanted to paint one, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be. I'm looking forward to it. Going to be lots of airbrush work, and yeah, it's going to be good. And just working on something that scale is just, it's always good fun. Working on, like, the big stuff. But yeah, probably going to get that, maybe, well, may even get that primed, get it sprayed and primed and everything ready for paint tomorrow, after work, depending on, well, weather dependent, as long as it's not raining, which it has been a lot recently. So I don't know, that might be tomorrow's job. Get it primed, get it all ready to go. But yeah, going back to what I was talking about earlier, it's kind of there's been a lot of stuff going on, well, sort of with me and whatever and stuff, which is why I've had to kind of put the channel sort of a little bit on the back burner, which I don't like doing, but yeah, it's taken a bit of a hit recently, so um, I'm trying to get back on that and get it going again. So if you are already subscribed, and yeah, I do apologise. I've been very quiet and not been uploading much or anything, and it's all been a bit yeah, it's rubbish. It really is. I hate it. I kind of I always had, well, the plan was always to kind of get a video up once a week, but it's too difficult. I've tried, and I can't, unless I want to kind of really just rush things and or whatever. It's just not feasible. I don't have the time to do it. So I do my best, but yeah, so I've really I let things slip a little bit recently. It's just a bit, yeah, it's a bit annoying, but there you go. Life, isn't it? Where are we? 5 more, including this one. Sorry, going quiet there again. I have a tendency to do that when I'm filming these. Just, yeah, I lose, sort of end up thinking. Going a bit quiet, which is not really what you want on a live stream, is it? So yeah, apologies. It's a nice Monty Python quote there. Always a big fan of Monty Python since I was a kid. I used to have all these audio tapes. Again, showing my age now. Cassette tapes for Monty Python stuff I used to listen to. I do somewhere have all of them on DVD. Again, old, but yeah, I've been blown away by that. Getting that box set, had everything, had all of them. It's loads of stuff that I'd never seen before. Right, that's that done, and that means that I can get this and scratch that off the list. So I don't know if anyone. I'm assuming that some people watching this actually do painting and stuff. I don't know. I've got no idea, but I'd recommend doing this. I've got a list stuck to the wall of each step, so I can go through it and make sure I don't miss anything. I do this every time I have a big project like this, where I'm painting lots of the same thing over and over again. Big batch paints, I'll always put a list up. I'll kind of work out each step and stick it all on the wall so that I can see where I am and what needs to be done. And it's I find it really helpful. So yeah, if you are painting or whatever, yeah, that's I'd recommend that. It's very helpful because I find it helps me keep things a bit more efficient as well, so I can kind of get everything in the right order and to make it sort of make sense. And yeah, it's good. It's a little thing, but it does help. Right. So next step is I'm going to be doing all the chipping on the armor itself. This is going to take a little longer than the last step. I don't know how much of this I'm going to get done tonight. What time? What time is it? 9:30. So I'm going to keep going for a little bit longer. And yeah, this does take a little longer because you have to be a little bit more sort of careful about where the paint's going. But again, I don't know how well you can see it all properly, but I need to make sure that it doesn't get on anywhere else. So far too much paint on there. Hopefully you can see some of that anyway. So, and then I'm not going to do all this in this order. Well, I'm not going to do it like this on all of them. I'm going to do like all the sponging and then maybe come back to it. But then we'll go in with a brush and to start to get those edges on. It needs to be thinned a little bit. So yeah, as you can see, this is a little bit more involved, and unfortunately, they are still a little bit shiny from the gloss. They had a gloss varnish on them, which has been taken down with some matte, but they're still slightly shiny. They will get another coat of matte varnish when they're completely done. Kind of just seal everything in and just matte everything down and get the same sort of finish on all of them. Yeah, hopefully you can see that coming through a little bit, despite the sort of the shininess that's still there. So hopefully that shows up enough. You can actually see that. I don't know. Um, and yeah, so there's a second grey that's going to go on certain areas as well. But I'll worry about that in a bit. But you can get this one again. He's not completely finished, but the chipping stuff on the armor, and then like these highlights and stuff on the guns and things and the weapons. That'll all that's all going to go on there too. So yeah, it's like, and then like these all on the hoses and things and on these edges and stuff. It's all the same sort of colours. Um, which I realise I've missed on that test one that I just did. So that needs adding. But again, I'm not being crazy with this. I'm not edge highlighting every single thing. I'm just kind of being quite selective about where these go. Not spending loads of time on everything. Trying to keep it quick and efficient, and only really highlighting the bits that sort of need doing. So it's not so it's not a long drawn out thing. It's like I'll show you. Some people may have seen this, but like this guy, this is one of my Space Marines from my Space Marine army, and that is it was a bit dusty. So this is the opposite. This is picking out every single little thing, and this is sort of 5 layers of highlights on all the armor and everything. And like one of these will take me, I don't know, a week to do one of them. So this is the sort of painting these guys is very different to this. So yeah, so I'm again just being very selective about the highlights on these guys rather than this, and just sort of picking out literally every single thing and trying to get everything nice and clean and perfect. Um, just for sort of speed and well, not necessarily speed, but just efficiency and keeping the momentum going, so that they I don't so they don't take forever. Because if you're going to be painting this many models on, you can't do them to that scale. I mean, you could, but you'd never finish it. You could try. I wouldn't recommend it. I mean, you see people paint them and they look fantastic and whatever, but it's like, yeah, but you only painted one, which is fine if that's the goal, is just to paint it and just but you're not painting an army like that, because you'll never finish it. Just it's just not feasible. You won't never have enough time. Which is why my Space Marine army it's such an ongoing project. I'll never finish it. I'm very happy with what I have done and the finished ones, but it'll never be like a real big collection of like a big army, because they take too long. They're more just for the enjoyment of doing it and for display and stuff. But I'm never going to have like a great big massive collection of them. And especially armies like this where you need lots and lots of infantry. You need to be you've got to be kind of selective about what you do and what you don't do. And that hose as well he's doing. Right, that's 3 of 50. Yeah, the 47 more to do, more to go. But this really is the last sort of big time-consuming step on these, and the rest of it is really nice and fast, like the sort of thing I could do in over a couple of evenings. Yeah, it's been it's good, nice fun project, and a bit of a one of those things I've wanted to do for a long time, and have this really nice guard army that I'm proud of. And sorry, I keep getting things out of the shot of the camera. Is anyone watching, listening to me ramble on? Is anyone painting anything? Anybody working on anything? I haven't seen any of my sort of regulars turn up tonight. So, well, to be fair, I didn't kind of announce this. It was kind of it was a bit of a last minute decision to kind of just jump on here. So um, that's fair enough. No, not enough paint. I've been streaming my working on streaming working on my Creed 2. How far along the process are you? I am well over halfway on these guys, but there's yeah 50 of them that I'm working on at the moment. But this is the beginnings of the army. So this is I don't have any other. This is all just this is it so far. I've got I've got lots of other stuff built and ready for paint, but the army is essentially this is the beginning of it. This is the first sort of stuff that I'm painting, apart from the test models. Um, so yeah, it's sort of it's a new collection. I mean, I bought it all back in February, I think, when all the death course, all this new stuff got released, and I kind of bought it on the release day, on the pre-order. So I've had it hanging around for a while, um, and I basically built everything and got it all ready, um, and then had to kind of put it to one side while I was working on some other stuff. And I got the test models done and got that all sorted. So it's all yeah. It's although I've had the models for a while. It's a new collection. You know, it's not so it doesn't not going to be going with anything that I already have. I'll probably be doing 50 at once, but that's all you have for the army. Of 2,000 points crew with the new stuff came out. Yeah, well, I've got about 1,000 points worth of stuff built and ready, including these guys. It's basically all the infantry and the sort of the horses and the artillery guns and all that sort of stuff. Basically everything apart from the vehicles. So I haven't got any tanks or anything. So it's all just the infantry part of it, because that's the bit that, although it's the tricky bit to paint, and because you need lots of it. It's the bit that I like the most. All my armies are quite infantry heavy. They've always got a lot of. I like a hordy army, especially the guard. You have to have loads of infantry and bodies and stuff. So I thought, well, I'll start with all the infantry and kind of not get them out of the way, but like it's a big chunk of an army done then. And then I'll go back and I'll do all the tanks and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I haven't bought any of the vehicles or any of that stuff yet, so it's all just the infantry. I've got 10 of the Death Riders and I've got 3 of the big artillery cannons, and they're all. I've built all of the individual sort of weapons that go on there, so they're going to paint all of them, so I can chop and change between all of them. Yeah, and then once all that's done, then some tanks and some other bits and bobs. But that's a way off. That's probably not even going to be till next year, because I've got too many other things to do. That's the point of the infantry. Get them away to make room for the tanks. Yeah. I like it. I like having I just think it's also, if you if you're into all the if you want to keep these sort of what's the best way of putting it, like fluffy and true to the books and all of that sort of stuff, then you should have guard army. It should just be loads of infantry and stuff, and that's how it's all, how they're all sort of described. So it kind of feels right, and it looks good as well. I just think it looks really nice. Having a table and they're all just 100 or so, 150, 200 of them in a game or whatever. It just looks good. I finished building 1,000 points of it. The only tank I've built is Basilisk. The rest is 13 infantry, 10 Death Riders, 3 artillery teams, 3 1 heavy weapons team, and 1 sentinel. It's a nice, it's a decent collection of stuff. Yeah. I want to get I do want to get a sentinel too at some point. I want a Rogel Dawn. That's on my list. And when I get around to buying the tanks and stuff, the Lima Russ, I ideally want 3 or 4 of them, but I'm going to go with the Heresy ones, the Heresy tanks, rather than the 40k ones, and then do a bit of conversion work to put the sponson guns and stuff on. Just because I think those tanks look really nice. I just think they look nicer than the 40k Lima Russ, and they'll just fit more with these guys, I think, personally. So yeah, that's the plan anyway. The only thing I haven't worked out with the tanks and stuff is whether the tanks are going to be the color of the fatigues or they're going to be the color of the armor. I haven't worked that out yet. So basically, are they going to be green or grey? I don't know. I haven't worked that out. I need to do a test and work out which one I think looks nicer. But yeah, lots of time to work that out. That's not going to be something that happens anytime soon. I can kick the rest of the ride of the Sentinel. The Basilisk is Horace Harrison put them on the truck. Yeah, I want to get the that's what that was something I was looking at one point. Is the again they're going to be added in the heresy uh, basilisks, or one or two of them, um, with all sort of sealed up at the back and all of that. And yeah, I just think they look so much better. It's a shame that the Lima Russes don't have the sponsons on for the weapons and things, because it would make it a bit easier. But there is options to do that. So I've got got a plan that will happen eventually. I'm putting the tripod heavy bolter on top of the. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Yeah, I wasn't sure how I was going to do that. They come with a. I think they come with a heavy flamer you can put on there. I think it's a heavy flamer is one of the options you can put on that heresy basilisk. So I think I was just going to do that just for ease, just because it comes in the box. But as I said, this is a way off. This is not happening anytime soon. So I've got time to think about it and work it out. Is that in shot? Yeah. Sorry, I'm kind of. I forget that I'm filming sometimes. I move it out of the shot. You can't see anything. Table time is a good kick bash for flames on the heresy. Lima Russ in the video. Okay, I will. I will look that up. Yeah, I just think those. I think those tanks look so much nicer. They're cheaper as well than buying the other ones. I think because you don't get as many options in the box, but it doesn't really matter because I kind of know what I want to do with them. So, um, like just in terms of actual real money, they are cheaper. Not by a huge amount, but when you buy four of them, it does make a difference. Oh, we're going. Oh, just over an hour now. What color scheme is that? Oh, it's just a sort of custom one. Um, I mean, I'm filming it, uh, not just on this live, but like as a proper video, kind of like a tutorial, and also just going over this whole process of working through this. So that will be up on the channel soon if anybody's interested. But I had an idea in my head of what I wanted them to look like. And I did a load of tests and stuff, and I kind of was working a few things out, like how I was going to sort of do what I wanted to do. And I had there was a version of it where they were more of a sort of a grey brown color rather than the green. Um, uh, yeah, there's some different variations of it that I kind of had it in my head roughly what I wanted, and then I saw, if you've ever watched Cult of Paint, which is a fantastic YouTube channel. If you've not heard of them, I would highly recommend them. Very good. And they've got a really nice uh, tutorial scheme for the deathcore, and I not copied it, but a couple of elements on it. Some of the couple of just literally like two or three of the paints that they used, I kind of ended up using, um, and it kind of changed the colors ever so slightly enough that I was actually genuinely happy with it. I've gone far darker on the armor and things, and there's a lot of difference, but they do look a little similar in some of the colors. So I kind of took a few there, a few hints and a little bit of inspiration from that, and then sort of reworked it to what I wanted. Because as much as I like that scheme. It was a little bit too, what's the word? I don't know. Not maybe a little bit too dark in places and stuff. It was a bit sort of too. There wasn't enough variation between the some of the colors and things. Just not that I dislike it. It does look great. I mean, I did really like it, and I would be very happy with an army that looked like that, definitely. But it wasn't quite what I had in my head initially, and so I was trying to stick with that idea that I've got first, and then try and work around that. So yeah, it's mainly the sort of the colors for the initial sort of coats of paint that are underneath all of this, that then the airbrush kind of filters over the top for the sort of the cloth, the fatigues and stuff. That was the main thing. That was the thing that sort of changed from what I originally was doing, and it worked really nicely. It's again, it's slight variation. It wasn't exactly the same, but it was enough to, yeah, to make me think, oh, actually, that works really nicely, and I was very happy with it. So that was, yeah, a bit of a turning point on that, working that scheme out, because I got very hung up on it about what I wanted to do, because I knew I needed to paint a lot of them, and I needed it to be, it had to be right, you know. So yeah, took a bit of inspiration there. But the German Soldier World One, just in my opinion, they do. They actually, I think, are they're based on um, First World War French soldiers, I believe. If you look at the way they're, especially the way that the old sort of studio Krieg ones were painted with the sort of the blue, slightly sort of light blue fatigues and things. They're very reminiscent of First World War French soldiers. But it's got, I mean, they definitely take all their sort of inspiration from the First World War. You know, yeah. I had an image in my head of what I wanted, and then I get that a lot, kind of for working out in my head of what I want, and then I do my best to kind of make that into, you know, into reality. You can make it actually happen. Doesn't always work. Sometimes you can't quite get exactly what you want, but I was very happy with these. They've come out kind of how I wanted. I just told the row. I saw the Death Rise immediately like the. Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah, I like trying to work out my own schemes and stuff and how I'm going to do things. Again, these are not particularly unique. They're sort of, there's a lot, this is quite a nice, pretty standard looking sort of deathcore colours, nice and drab and dreary looking. But it was really just about how I was going to go about doing it and stuff to get it exactly how I wanted it without it being a real slog. Where's that sponge gone? Sorry. Oh, right. I'm going to do one more of these, and I think I'm going to call it a night, or maybe come back to it a bit later, have a bit of a break. But yeah, as I said, I'll stick with this for a little bit longer. So I'm not going anywhere just this minute. But yeah, but if you're sort of stuck with it, and yeah, thanks for joining me. It's been very nice. Nice to have a few new people on. Um, as I said, I try and do these every now and then when I can. It's not always that easy, but I I try and try and do them whenever I'm able to fit them in. Um, and yeah, this if you are interested, these guys will be up on the channel on a proper sort of proper video um, very soon. As soon as it's done, I will get it edited and get it up. It won't be a long time until it's on there. So that's be a proper tutorial and kind of just going over the whole process of just this whole little project really. Just using it as a way of sort of documenting it and just seeing if anybody's interested and seeing how it's coming along. And yeah, so if you are interested, then hit the subscribe button and stuff, and that little notification bell and all of that. That'll pop up soon. I've also got a bit of an announcement coming up for the channel as well, so that's quite a big deal. So there's been a couple of one big thing I've been kind of working on in the background. That's so cool you own a sub. Oh, thank you very much, man. I do appreciate that. That's very nice of you. Thank you. It does help. It does help enormously. I'm doing my utmost at the moment to try and get to 10,000 subscribers. Hopefully before Christmas, maybe. We're way up. Well, not too far away, but um, we're getting there. It might be possible. But yeah, thank you. I do appreciate it. Um, so yeah, if you are enjoying it, well, yeah, hit that button, and yeah, it does help. And if you kind of want to support it even further, there is a membership, like a channel membership thing that gets you access to a Discord and all of that stuff. Um, and I also have there's a if you're in the UK anyway, there's an Element Games affiliate link that I have, which kind of gives me a little bit of a kickback if you buy something through there. So that's quite helpful. Um, so it doesn't cost you anything. Still get a nice little discount for yourself when you buy stuff, but it also kind of it chucks a little bit of money my way, which helps to just keep things running here. So yeah, if you're able to use that, that's a massive help. Yeah, just being here and stuff is more than enough. There we go. Right, so how many was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, right. I'm going to call it a day. I might jump on back on here a bit later. Going to take a little bit of a break. And yeah, I'll potentially see you a bit later. But if not, as I say, hit the subscribe button. You'll get that proper video up soon. You're going to see it. So, thank you so much for joining me. It's been very nice and relaxing, and it's been nice to have a chat with a few of you. So, yeah, thank you so much. Hugely appreciated. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'll be back soon. Thank you very much.